Rodney Ross, son of Diana Ross, and one of the most delightful people that you will meet, is back with me this morning. He is here to talk about his latest novel entitled Bended Knee. Rodney, it is such a pleasure to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back, Jenna, to talk about the newest output.
That's right, Bended Knee. Before we get into Bended Knee, though, Rodney, the last time you were on the show, we talked about your first novel entitled The Cool Part of His Pillow. And Rodney, you just keep getting praise for this book and different awards. Congrats on that.
Well, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was, this last one was a surprise. It was the Indie Excellence Award, and it is given to novels that are from small presses or even independently published actually by the author themselves. So that sort of reactivated sales on Amazon and everything, and they generated a lot of PR for it. So that was a nice morning to wake up to when I got that email.
Absolutely. Well, congrats on that.
Thank you.
And now, Rodney, you have decided to release your second book. Tell us what inspired Bended Knee.
Bended Knee is about same-sex marriage, but I wanted to take a different spin on it, and in a very brief, because this is more of a novella, short story than it is a full-blown novel, I wanted to touch on a lot of things about same-sex marriage within the GLBT community, that not everybody is so cool with it. Not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody wants to buy into the rite of passage that heterosexuals always, as much as we're fighting for it, there are those resistant to it. It also puts a lot of pressure on couples now. Well, when are you all going to get married? You can get married. Well, maybe we don't want to. Maybe we just wanted to cohabit. And I wanted to touch on that and then have some fun with it as well, talking about social networking and how things can get out of control very quickly.
Oh, we know that to be true, don't we?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Social networking, it can be a blessing, but also a curse.
Absolutely, yes. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, texting, things that, what's missing is tone. You really don't. You can misinterpret so easily somebody's comment that was fun and it turns into snark. Somebody else repeats it, and before you know it, you've created a situation that you didn't mean to, which was really what Bended Knee is about, is one man's misstep goes viral, and he looks like the enemy of his own community. He's gay, and yet he didn't want a couple proposing to one another in his restaurant because he was afraid it would make his largely heterosexual clientele uncomfortable on Valentine's Day. And it begins to affect his relationship at home as well.
Rodney, what do you want your readers to take away from this book?
That the novella sort of highlights some of those pitfalls along the way that you might step into, the little landmines that exist, that you find out somebody in your own family isn't so supportive of you that you always thought was, until the marriage word comes up.
Because being a published author, then you get those reviews, and sometimes the reviews aren't exactly what you want to hear.
No. On the first novel, I really was in sort of a 6-month quiet period. I didn't read reviews. I didn't want people telling me what was, but this one I just dove right in. Let's see what they're saying. And a couple of them I was not, tickled, but several of them have been so effusively nice that you try to focus on the good, but inherently you're always going to say, oh, but I disappointed a reader, or they didn't get it. You want to write them personally back or send them their money back. You didn't like it, here's your money. So sure, I try not to dwell on it. I certainly don't lay up at night or place voodoo curses on anybody, but yes, it does indeed sting a little bit.
Rodney, it has been a pleasure, as always, talking with you. Thank you so much. And tell our viewers where they can get a copy of Bended Knee.
You can get Bended Knee. You can go to all the usual bandits. You can go to Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble. You can go to the publisher website, dreamspinnerpress.com. You can go to iTunes and download it. It's essentially everywhere except at a traditional bookstore. It is a download ebook only.
All right. Awesome. Well, be sure to get your copy of Bended Knee. I'm going to take a quick break right now. I'll be back after these messages.